Winter. LaToya stood on the porch with two heavy bags, staring at the door like it could save them. Inside, everyone went quiet. Rosa tense, the 12-year-old clutching her backpack, the 9-year-old scanning the hallway, the 7-year-old crushing his toy in his hands. The house wasn't peaceful. It felt like it was listening. Then Rosa stepped outside and stopped. Flies. In winter. A few at first, then a swarm crawling along the door seam and lifting into the air like a black breath. LaToya's face hardened. Rosa looked sick. The cold didn't matter. The flies were there anyway, like they belonged to the house. LaToya scrubbed, sprayed, set traps, moving fast, jaw clenched, pausing mid-wipe when a faint sound seemed to come from deeper inside. The kids drifted to the hallway, staring at the basement door like it was a warning sign no one had posted. That evening, the basement door wasn't fully closed, just a thin crack of pure black. Dinner turned into silent listening, every head tilting at tiny noises that didn't make sense. Later, the daughter stood in her doorway, watching the blue dark corridor, while the basement stairs swallowed the light. Rosa sat rigid in the living room, eyes locked on a corner that looked too dark. Then she saw it, a man-shaped silhouette with no face, no details, just darkness wearing a human outline. The 7-year-old jolted awake. LaToya rushed in, pulled him close, and he pointed into the corner. The warm nightlight didn't reach it. The shadow felt heavy, alive. And down the hallway, near the basement, something shifted, just a few centimeters, enough to make the whole family go perfectly still. LaToya didn't sleep. She recorded everything, every buzz, every creak, every moment the house felt wrong. By morning, she was sealing the place like a battlefield, tape on the cracks, traps along the walls, salt across the basement threshold. She wiped every surface until her hands burned, then stopped because the silence felt like it was leaning toward her. The kids watched in silence, learning a new rule: don't go near that door, not ever. But the house didn't care about rules. The flies came back anyway, gathering where the air felt coldest, swarming like they were being called. That afternoon, LaToya called for help. When the priest arrived, he didn't laugh, didn't dismiss it. He just stepped inside and went still. He stood in the hallway, eyes locked on the basement door, like he could hear something breathing behind it. He moved slowly, careful, testing the air with every step. Rosa hovered near the living room, clutching her beads so hard her knuckles turned pale. The daughter kept the boys close, trying to look calm while her hands shook. Outside, across the street, a curtain shifted. A woman-shaped shadow lingered at a window, watching their porch, watching the door, unmoving, like she'd been waiting for this. Inside, the air grew heavier. The tape on the basement frame fluttered like it felt a draft no one else could feel. The salt line looked disturbed, as if something had brushed it from the other side. The priest leaned closer to the wood, palm hovering near the handle, and his face tightened, like the door was colder than it should be. Then the sound came again, a scrape from below, slow, deliberate, like something dragging itself up one step at a time. LaToya raised her phone to record. Rosa whispered, "No," under her breath. The priest lifted his hand, steady and calm, as if trying to hold the space in place. And then the basement door moved, just a little. A thin crack of black appeared. Pure darkness, no detail, like a mouth opening. The buzzing stopped. The house went silent, and for one long second, it felt like whatever was down there was listening back. The priest met LaToya in the hallway, right in front of the basement door. He didn't touch it at first. He listened, palm hovering, eyes narrowed. LaToya kept her phone up, recording, hands shaking but refusing to move. When he finally removed the chair brace and turned the handle, The door cracked open, and the darkness below looked too thick, like it swallowed light. Then the flies returned, 1, 2, then dozens circling the opening like they were guarding it. Rosa rushed in, swatting at them, panic rising when a heavy step echoed from somewhere down there. LaToya backed into the kitchen and threw tape and scissors onto the table like she was gearing up for a fight. Outside, across the street, a curtain shifted. A woman's silhouette stood behind it, still watching, like she already knew. Upstairs, the kids sat rigid. The older boy held a flashlight like a weapon. The younger one crushed his toy in his hands. The daughter stepped into the hallway and saw the salt line near the basement door disturbed, like something had brushed it from the other side. In the living room, the priest began the blessing, steady, controlled, until the darkest corner of the room seemed to deepen. Not a person, not a shape, just darkness gathering, and then sliding a few centimeters across the wall like it had weight. By daylight, officials arrived. LaToya showed the tape, the salt, the marks near the door. The priest confirmed what he felt. Then the chair near the basement moved on its own, just a quiet scrape, a tiny slide, but the room snapped into silence. No one had touched it. That night, Rosa checked the window again, the same silhouette across the street, watching, and behind them in the corridor shadow, the darkness thickened and shifted again. LaToya turned the kitchen into a command center. Tape, traps, salt, everything on the table. She dragged a chair into the hallway and jammed it in place like a barricade, jaw clenched. Rosa swept the living room with a flashlight, then peeked outside and saw it again. The same woman-shaped silhouette across the street, still and watching. Upstairs, the boys froze. The older one gripped a flashlight like a weapon. The younger one clutched his toy and didn't move. In the hallway, the priest edged toward the basement and aimed his light down the stairs, but the darkness looked deeper, not clearer. Then something shifted, just a thin crawl of shadow moving the wrong way, against the light. LaToya kept recording. She set a glass of water on the table like a test, and the surface began to ripple on its own. No footsteps, no shaking, just motion. Her face tightened as she stared from the trembling water to the basement door. By day, officials arrived with clipboards and cameras. LaToya showed the salt, the tape, the marks. The priest confirmed what he felt. They were still writing when the house interrupted. The hallway chair scraped and slid by itself a few centimeters. The room went dead silent. That night, LaToya sealed documents, packed fast, and taped boxes shut with shaking hands. Rosa grabbed the keys. The kids didn't ask questions. And as they stepped outside, LaToya looked back at the dark windows, swearing the curtain moved, like the house watched them leave. They left like they were escaping a fire. LaToya threw bags into the car, Rosa clutching keys and documents, the kids climbing in without a word. From the street, the house looked quiet, almost normal, and that was the worst part. On the road, streetlights smeared across wet glass. LaToya drove with both hands locked on the wheel, forcing her breathing to slow. Rosa kept staring through the rear window, whispering like prayer was the only thing holding her together. Then a small patch of fog bloomed on the back window, like a breath on cold glass. No face, no sound, just that one impossible sign that something had been close. Days later, in a temporary place with bare walls and cardboard boxes, Latoya replayed her recordings until her eyes burned, and then she found it. The hallway footage, the shadow shifting the wrong way, moving against the light. She showed Rosa, and Rosa's face drained. They called the priest. Officials took notes. Calm voices tried to make it sound explainable. But it didn't feel explainable. The daughter packed and repacked like she couldn't trust any room. Rosa froze mid-sip of tea when the air went too still. And in the low evening light, a corner of the room darkened too fast, like the shadow thickened for one heartbeat, then stopped. Latoya taped the last box shut, hands shaking, telling herself it was over. And then the box slid a few centimeters on its own. No hands, no wind, no reason. The room went silent, because whatever started in that house hadn't stayed behind. Latoya sat on the edge of the mattress and watched the videos again, frame by frame, like proof could finally make her feel safe. The screen showed the old hallway, the basement door, the dead stillness, then that tiny shift, the shadow moving the wrong way. Rosa leaned in, hand over her mouth, eyes wide like she was watching something forbidden. They took it to the priest. He didn't argue. He watched, turned on a recorder, wrote notes, made calls. Officials signed papers and spoke in calm voices that didn't match the fear on Latoya's face. Everyone acted like it was being handled, but the family kept packing, fast and quiet, like fear had become routine. Even after they left again, the tension rode with them. At night, Latoya checked the mirror too often. Rosa held her beads until her fingers ached. Behind them, a distant glow appeared, vanished, then appeared again, too steady to ignore. In the new place, daylight finally looked normal, clean walls, quiet air. Latoya set the documents on the table and tried to breathe. Rosa poured a drink and almost smiled. Then the phone on the table lit up by itself. No sound, just the screen waking like it had been touched. Latoya picked it up and her face went flat with dread. A new voice message. No name, no number, just a recording waiting. She didn't press play. The room felt colder anyway, and in the corner, where light should have held, shadow thickened. It shifted a few centimeters, slow and deliberate, like something settling in. Latoya set the phone down. Rosa didn't speak. No one moved, because in that silence, they understood. Leaving the house was easy. Realizing it followed them was the horror.